Hello everybody, my name is Scarface King and welcome to my Ori Collection 2018 wishlist. Today, we've got a long list. I've made a long list. I don't know how long the video is going to be, but the list is long enough, so I'm just going to try and get into it as quickly as possible. Bear in mind, this is my list. If you have your own things that you would like to see in the game, leave them in the comments, because I do want to hear what people want to see. There are some of these things on this list that maybe I don't anticipate to be anytime soon, maybe not even this year, but I would at least like to see them working towards or working in the right direction of this year. And yeah, bear in mind I am not an expert at like Photoshop or anything like that, so I don't know how this is going to look at the end, but here we go. Put Universal Scrolls in every point store and put a decent amount of them in there too. Give Jump Awakenings to all the beginner units, or at least all the beginner units that are included in the power-up gacha. Add Ryoma Echizen or any other Prince of Tennis character into the game. Add Kobayakawa Senna or any iShield 21 character into the game. Give My Hero Academia an event or some new units, maybe a Jump Awaken. Do something with that series because it is popular. Hoshin Engi has got a brand new anime coming out this year. I think it is deserving of at least maybe a Jump Awaken or a couple of new units. Give us a series from the grey area. What I mean by this is a series that isn't actually a Shonen Jump series, but is either Jump or is Shonen Jump in America and the UK and places like that, or simply a series that used to be Shonen Jump that moved to another magazine. I want to see that we can get those in the game, or at least I'd like to believe that we can. Give us more Tower. I'm not expecting it regularly, but maybe once every other month. Give us more story. Again, not expecting it regularly, but maybe once every other month. Start giving Jump Awakenings to different kinds of units. I like the Jump exclusive units and I like the free event units getting Jump Awakenings. That's great. Maybe a raid unit could get a Jump Awakening. Or something like that. I don't know. Bring back step-up summons like we had on the first banner and like we had on the Sakuragi banner, and take the chance to improve them. There's a lot you can do with step-up summons, and I'm disappointed nothing's been done with them since that Sakuragi banner. Stuff like giving a guaranteed unit after a certain amount of multis, giving higher rates the more multis you do, giving more goodies the more multis you do, or something along those lines is really the right direction, I think, and I'm surprised we haven't seen it since that banner. Add difficulties to story mode. This is one that was recommended to me by the Discord and I'd never really thought about it, but it does make sense. Why can't we have multiple difficulties on each story mode stage? And maybe the hard or expert mode can give a bit of a challenge when you fight against Cars or Dio towards the end of the story. And then, you know, expert players that have been playing for a long time, veterans, will have something to do that is a little bit of a challenge, and, you know, maybe you can get some goodies for that, like some orbs or whatever. Make it a habit to have 2 reprints a month and 2 new events a month, and have them overlap with one another. I don't know if we're necessarily going in that direction. It does seem like we're going in that direction. By the time I get this video up, we might have a better idea if we are going in that direction with the events in January. But I do want to see start the month off with a new event, followed by a reprint, followed by a new event, followed by a reprint. Each one starting 1 week after the other, each one lasting 2 weeks that they overlap. Make Legend Arena more balanced and more bearable. I think you're all going to understand where I'm coming from on this one, but just to explain my point a bit better, I'm going to use an anecdote, and that is my 2 accounts. I do have 2 accounts, one of which has every optimal Legend Arena unit except Aya, and the other doesn't. It just doesn't. I can make good teams on that other account despite not having optimal units, and I can beat people quite easily. I can find the right people to challenge and I can beat them. I worked my way from bronze, where you start the season, all the way up to the top silver, and I was going into gold. But every night, when I went to bed, people would come on abroad, people that are in a different time zone to me, and they would trash me, and they would completely destroy me. And I found myself kept getting demoted overnight every single time. I did one final push on the last day after I'd been demoted all the way down to bronze 1 overnight. I pushed and I pushed, and I got myself to silver 2 right before I had to go out for the rest of the day. And I only missed maybe 1 hour of Legend Arena in the end, and that was enough to get me demoted back into bronze and not get a copy of Sanji before he went away. Meanwhile, on my other account, I won I think 5 matches at the start, which was enough to push me into silver, and then I didn't play for the rest. I just, every day I logged in, I checked, still silver, okay cool, and then that was it. And on the other end, when I came out of it, I was still silver, and I got a copy of Sanji, my second copy of Sanji on that account, because I just happened to have an optimal team and nobody wanted to challenge me. You need to balance this game mode. It needs to be, if I'm not playing, I shouldn't be able to lose points. You can scale it however you want. You can make it difficult for me to get stuff that is good. You can make it a grind. I understand that. But the truth is, this whale battlefield is not okay. Bring back the old PvP characters. I don't know why they haven't done this. They put Momotaro in the store when Koro Sensei came out. They could easily be putting characters in this store, and they're not. And it just seems like such a wasted opportunity to not bring those characters back, or bring them back in some kind of gacha, or maybe these characters could be put into the power-up gacha or something like that, but bring them back in some way. Don't just leave them out of the game completely. Add all the beginner characters into the power-up gacha. I don't know why they're not there already. It seems weird to leave some of them out and put some in. Just put them in there. What difference does it make? Make more stages like the Christmas Girl stage, where you can choose which dumbbells you want to farm, and you know, you don't miss out on any memorial stones or experience or anything like that. I already talked about wanting to see more story. What I would also like to see is more beginner characters being added, more 2 stars that we can build up from scratch. It could be old gacha characters you add in, or maybe just some brand new characters, but something else to add in, maybe throw them in the beginner gacha too. Add 4-star versions of characters into the power-up gacha as a rare drop. This one just seems obvious. I know the 3 stars are supposed to be the rare drop, but awakening characters up to victory is a massive pain in the ass. You just put the 4 stars in there, just, you know, as a super rare chance, and it will just be something else that we can get and work towards. Don't be afraid to redo old banners. What I mean by this is we recently had the Jump Fest, but what I'd like to see is take a banner like the Slam Dunk banner, and when that event comes back, add a new JA into the banner, a new jump unit like Rukawa, and have them and Sakuragi rated up at the same time, and then maybe have a couple of new gacha units rated up alongside them. And for real, like, where is Rukawa and where is Killua? Those 2 could easily have made their way into the game by now. I don't know why they're not here. Rukawa was even kind of teased and then like just didn't get added. It just seemed really odd. This year I would like to see every character from J-Star's Victory to be added to this game. It doesn't have to be straight away obviously, but over the course of the year I'd like to see all these characters at least get some kind of feature. The characters currently missing are Zebra from Toriko, Vegeta from Dragon Ball, Madara from Naruto, Frieza from Dragon Ball, Killua from Hunter x Hunter, Aizen from Bleach, Toguro from Yu Yu Hakusho, Rao from Fist of the North Star, Boa from One Piece, Akainu from One Piece, Shishio Makoto from Rurouni Kenshin, Heihachi Edejima from Otoko Juku, Alan Walker from D Grey Man, although he has been teased, so he might even be out by the time this video is put up, Junichi Jaguar from Jaguar, Rukia Kuchiki from Bleach, Neuro Nagami from Neuro Supernatural Detective, and Misogi Kumagawa from Medica Box. Can we get a big Bleach event based around the Soul Society invasion arc? Get characters like Uryu who are missing and Rukia who are missing, and it would be a good opportunity to add them in. Incidentally, I might do an entire separate video on what that might look like and what I might expect from that event, but that's something I can think about later. Don't be afraid to do a handful of jump units per event, just like the Christmas event. If you're going to do version 2 characters down the line, then it really makes no difference throwing in version 1s of characters or version 2s getting ready for version 3s later. Just add in as many jump units as you feel like it's worth doing, same as Dokkan does with Dokkan Awakenings. Give the 1960s and 1970s their own event. It kind of, at this point, is a little bit of a joke that they haven't had an event yet. And the same for the 2010 era too. Make 3-star, 4-star, or even 5-star characters that can be farmed. And I stress this, farmed. Not purchased from the shop, not from mission rewards. Farmed. The same way it is in One Piece, where when I beat a character and they have a drop, there's a chance that it could be them and not some random like dumbbell or power-up gadget ticket or medal or whatever. It's a chance that they themselves have dropped. That's something that we need from these events, because getting the fodder required to get all my characters up to victory is an absolute pain. It would be cool if they added in something nice for each series whenever that particular series has an anniversary or something special happening in real life. Like for instance, Hoshinengi has had its first episode of its new anime air. To commemorate that, they could have done something nice, like given some Hoshinengi themed goodies, maybe like a 10 power up overboost, plus 10 overboost can with one of the Hoshinengi characters on it, or maybe one for Yozen and Taikobo. Or just something like that. It doesn't need to be anything major. Let me trade up a bunch of dumbbells for a bench press. It doesn't need to be a small amount of dumbbells. You can say 100, 200, whatever. But have it that I can trade them in and get a bench press, because it will save me a lot of box space. Speaking of box space, can dumbbells and fodder have their own box? I think you could make an argument that fodder should be in our boxes, but dumbbells I think should be in their own box, considering how many I get and how little box space I have and how much box space costs. Remove fodder characters from the character log, and then remove evolver characters and evolver items from the character log too. Just give them their own section. It's just clutter. And as the game gets older and game goes on and on, that log is just going to get harder and harder to navigate. Look at some of the ones like the One Piece section now. It just looks ridiculous. Add raid events like you see in MMOs, or even the 7 Deadly Sins game, which sadly closed down last year, where it's not just a normal raid like you have in a lot of the other games like OPTC, but rather everybody's working together towards a goal. Adding guilds or clans. I mean, we don't really have a proper friend system, and I'm not necessarily against the current friend system, although I think down the line it could be problematic. But if we had a guild system, I think it would kind of alleviate the fact that right now if I'm looking for a specific leader, it can be kind of difficult. Add in a Black Asta, or rather a Black Clover event with Black Asta in it, or just any Black Clover event would be nice. I would like to see the whole Vongola 10th family added this year. We've already got Yamamoto, we've already got Gokudera, we've already got Suna. I would honestly like to see Gokudera get a better card, and I'm sure he will further down the line. I know his card is good, but it wasn't what I expected it to be, and I feel like we're going to get version 2s of those characters at some point anyway, so I'm okay with that. The characters like Sasuke, Ryohei, and Lambo, and Rokudo, Mukuro, and Hibari, these are characters that are super popular and I'd really like to see. Have a crossover event with another game. It's not a hard thing to do, and of all the games to do it, this should be the one. This absolutely should be the game that finds that an easy thing to do. Add in ×2 stamina, ×2 drop, just like OPTC has. These events are already getting to the point where it's a chore to farm, because the reality is, some of the events, not hard at all, and for veteran players and for beginner players, after a while it just kind of becomes tedious, and if you're not going to add in super hard content like Rage, which they should be adding in, then add in something like ×2 stamina, ×2 drop to at least make that part easier so I can focus on PvP. When I get a dupe scene in the scene gacha, it shouldn't automatically give ×2 gold. There should be other options like ×2 drop rate, or ×2 experience, or ×2 points, or even still have the option to drop era medals every so often. It shouldn't be the same thing every time, and it shouldn't be the same reward for a 2-star scene that it is for a 5-star scene. Add in Shaman King, and yes, I know. Trust me, I know. Everyone's already told me. I already knew. Yes, I know. I don't care. Add in Shaman King. Add in Dr. Stone. Did anybody read last week's chapter of Dr. Stone? I don't know when this is going up, so it's kind of stupid for me to say last week's chapter, but did anybody read it? Oh my god. If you're not reading Dr. Stone, it's time to start reading Dr. Stone. Add in Kinnikuman or Ultimate Muscle. Add in Captain Tsubasa. Honestly, the fact that it hasn't been featured in this game, which I'm starting to think might be something to do with K-Lab, which could be a thing, but then Bleach is in this game, but that might be why Bleach hasn't had an event, or I don't know. I think there's some complications here that I am a little bit wary of. I don't know what's going on. Show me more of Magical Tadaruto-kun. I'm genuinely intrigued and the art style does interest me. Add in voice acting for certain special cards. This is kind of a weird one, and I can understand if people said they didn't want to see that because this is the manga game, not the anime game, but then the special cards are animated, as if they were from an anime. It just seems like a weird line to draw in the sand, so if we ever got something special, why not? Why not have voice acting? Flesh out the JoJo universe in this game. The JoJo universe, despite the name JoJo, isn't just about the JoJos. There are so many supporting characters that make that series. I'm talking your Speedwagons, your Zappellis, your Lisas, you know, characters that really do make this series. And by the time you get to part 4, arguably the supporting characters have a bigger role than the JoJos themselves. So, I mean, neglecting them is, it's just kind of sad. The Yu Yu Hakusho event would be cool, but again, I'm starting to think that maybe that might have something to do with K-Lab. Just at some point in the year, if you get round to it, a Yu Yu Hakusho event would be kind of nice. Add in Golem Hearts. I know it's young, but like some of the other series from 2010s have been added in and they don't have much content. Well, I mean, I'm only really thinking of Yuragi Sono Yunasan, but other than that, maybe some of the other series have a lot more content, so it's a little bit of a 50-50, but I really do feel like just adding in the characters just for a little bit of fun would be kind of nice. Fix the raid store. There's so many things wrong with raids. That's due its own video, really, in and of itself, and I think I will give it its own video. But the raid store is an absolute nightmare, and raids are a nightmare, and the way they're sorted out is just awful. So if it were up to me, they would be one of the highest priorities to get sorted out. Give us some villains. I know they've kind of done it and kind of not done it, and they've kind of flipped and flopped on whether we're actually getting villains or not. Give us like a decisive, like, oh yeah, that guy's a villain. Give us like Frieza or Dio or someone like that. Someone that's not in any kind of grey area. They are a villain. Jump Fest shouldn't just be the old units all featured into one banner. They should be adding new characters in just for those Jump Fests in order to get people to actually jump on those banners rather than the banners with the more up-to-date jump units on them. Just add some harder content, something that's difficult, something that I have to think about, something that really will take some time for me to figure out. That's the fun part of these games, the team building and the trying to figure out how we're going to do this, and, you know, amongst the community, like, oh, this character could be good, oh, you know, this guy would be great in support or whatever. Stuff like that. And I mean, we kind of got it for the Kaiba event, but not really as much because Some people struggled with it. Some people were able to auto it by the end, myself included. And it's just kind of, I don't know. They could have done a little bit better with that. They could have done a little bit better with raids in general, as I said before, and we'll talk about that in another video. But that is the last point in the video. I don't know if I covered everything I wanted to cover, but this video is a complete and total mess by the end, so hopefully I can fix that in editing. But that's going to do it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know the things you want to see from Ori Collection in 2018 in the comments down below. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time.